So, as well as the windows going in, we have a skylight going in just above our bed. It's going to fully open 90 degrees because we think it would be cool if you're able to get onto the bed and up through onto the roof. It seems like a good idea. Also going in is a Maxxair fan right here. This will go quite near where our shower is and also where the hob is, so that's the main place you need extraction. It's going to go right in the middle. It'll also give me an extra inch or so of height to be able to stand here, because once the roof goes in, I'm going to be in a bit of trouble. So yeah,
we started by marking out where the fan's going to go, and then I drilled some guide holes through the roof so we could see from the top.
And then we started just measuring out the different piece of wood for the frame for the Maxxair fan, and then here's me just screwing in the wood together with 2 screws in each joint.
I've just drilled 4 holes in each corner of where the air fan's going so we can mark out. We then drew or cut some larger holes in diagonal corners so we can fit the jigsaw through and start cutting. And then now I've just marked out exactly where the line is, and yeah, and tape around the edge so it doesn't scrape the van, but it doesn't really matter on this roof.
And I just went around with a rag and some white paint on the raw edge of the metal to protect it from rusting.
So next up is leveling around the hole that we've made for our air fan. As you can see, the roof is corrugated and we're going to need to go in and make it all level with the highest beams. So we got some Mastic sealant strip. I think this is usually used on caravan roofs, but it's like a thick sort of plasticine type material, and we're going to go and run it around the lowest point and then do a final one around the entire outside to make sure that it's the same height the whole way around, so it's sitting flush and there's no gaps underneath.
So on the flange, as it's called, this is the bit that goes on top of the roof for the Maxxair fan. I am currently going to drill a hole in each of these little, basically, pointers for where to put your screws. So I'm going to do that before we have to actually screw it in, just to make it easier, as Sarah Jane's currently doing the masking on the roof.
So this is the mastic all leveled off right round the hole so we can put the flange on perfectly level.
Then we just started assembling the components for the fan, so Andrew started screwing it in, and then we started screwing the wooden frame that we'd made into the plastic and through the roof as well.
They could be tightened down more.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do something with those wires on.
And then we just repeated the exact same process for the skylight.
Okay.
Happy with that?
That's Mastic gone.
Is it?
What?
Here's us just making sure that the skylight fit over the hole that we'd made, and we hadn't done it to the wrong size, but thankfully it did.
Wait, we're miles off.
Oh god. Oh.
So, this is our skylight now. Full cut, mastic round.
Sergeant had a difficult time getting that on, but I think she did a really good job. We're now going to set the skylight in just overnight, and we're going to fit it properly another day because we're too tired.
So it's the end of day 2. We have placed in our skylight. It's not drilled in or anything yet, and we still need to make a template, but it's too late to buy any timber or anything. And that's our Maxxair fan fully installed. We still need to put the ceiling in before we can install the final trim for it, as well as the skylight. So we need to make a similar sort of wooden frame, screw that through here, and then we can finish that off. But that's all we're doing for today.
That's through?
That's it through, yeah. So we're currently screwing down our skylight. We've cut some, we've drilled some holes there, and then we're putting
If I hold that like that, does that help you?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So because of the absolute stupid design of this skylight, we have had to drill through, and we're gonna bolt the skylight on to the through. So this is going through the black trim that's on the roof, and we'll put a load of sealant around on both sides really, and basically I'll sandwich it together. That's the only thing we can think of doing to get it bolted in and secure and not leak, because it's just not really working. We did have a wooden frame made, but I don't think we're gonna end up using it because it doesn't really make any sense.
And this is now the skylight fully screwed in and secured.
After that, we cleaned up around where the mastic was coming out from under the frame, and then went around with Sikaflex on the join to make sure that we didn't have any leaks, and we also went over the screw holes to make sure none would get through there either.
So I went round and sealed all of the bolts that are there with Sikaflex, and then I'm going around with the damp finger and like trying to somewhat smooth it out. So that's just completely watertight, but yeah, I mean you're hardly gonna see it since it's on the roof, probably a good thing. But so that's the skylight completely sealed, the fan's completely sealed, and while I'm up here I'm gonna clean the roof because not cleaning it with a scouring pad. Wink wink, nudge nudge. That's what happens when you leave the metal filings on the roof when you drill the hole, so I would advise that you clean it properly afterwards. I'm gonna give it a clean now. Oh, should I do a wee transition?
Give me a squirty thing.
Oh wait, no. Okay, so if you want to avoid spending an hour scrubbing your roof of metal filings, I would advise to definitely clean it straight after you drill the holes.
So we have just finished our skylight and roof light. This is them now installed. I'm pass up the surgeon and she'll show you how it's done.
So we have the finished skylight. I'll turn the camera around. Okay, so we're currently in the middle of insulating, but if you ignore all that, we've bolted through the roof, we've sealed around it. There is a last wee trim piece that goes on, and it'll cover all this, and it'll go on when the roof is on, but obviously we don't need that in right now. It's been sealed on the top. It's completely watertight, as you can tell. It's really good that it rains so much in this country, because we definitely know that there's no water coming in. Yeah, and moving on to the fan. So here is the frame that we built for it, and we are obviously insulating around that as well, but that's the fan in. There is sealer as well, if you can see, that's the Mastic coming through, and yeah, there's sealer on the top of that, but that's what they look like in. That also needs a final trim piece, that'll go on the top as well when the ceiling panels have went in, but that's them both finished. We didn't end up using the frame for the Skylight, but that being bolted through is pretty secure, so I will pass you up to Andrew.
So this is the view from the roof. We have used Sikaflex basically around that. It's a bit messy, to be honest, but I think at some stage we will try and tidy it up and just add an extra layer to sort of hide them bulges where the bolts are. But yeah, it's completely watertight. We've had a lot of rain the past few days and it's not been leaking, so it's a plus. And yeah, that's how it looks from the top. And onto the Maxxair fan. Similar idea. We also use some of the Caravan like roof adhesive tape basically around the edges of that to sort of fill in the gaps. Oh, there it is, opening. Keep going. Surgeon's opening it. That's how it works basically, but it will be automatic once it's wired in. And you can see there, similar to the Skylight, it's just got bulges on the screws to stop the water getting in. And yeah.
Okay, so that's them both properly installed. Oh, thank you for watching the video. Our next one is going to be Raptoring.
And the roof rack, is it?
No, that's a separate one. So we've got our Raptor video, and then our roof rack is going to be a separate video. We have already done that. This is all just us showing you the last final result. But those videos will be coming the week after. So thank you for watching. Give it a like if you thought it was helpful and entertaining. Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
See you in the next one.